Hi everybody, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are back in Mists of Pandaria Beta, and we are in a scenario called Brewmoon Festival. It looks like I have to defeat several bosses here. It's probably where these skulls are. I crashed, so not exactly too sure where my team is yet. I'm going to look for them in a moment. Got a really scared panda running around over here screaming that she's not food. Alright, let's see if I can find where... They're all over there by the ancient passage, so I'll go and try to join them over there. And let's see, we have a priest and we have a rogue for symbiosis. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the rogue. And he went out of range. And he's probably going to get into combat, and I'm probably not going to be able to cast it. Looks like we've got one of the bosses already. See if I can stay out of combat over here. Duh. He's in combat, so I can't do it. Alright, now let's try it again. Now this is the second one that I've been in over here, and they really do remind me of the Lotro skirmishes. They do seem pretty similar. Alright, looks like so after you clear some of the rabbits over here, one of the bosses will pop up. Dead Mother Moof. The vermin are basically going to be the comic relief of Mists of Pandaria, from what I've seen. He's doing a similar ability to the one in the instance. It looks like when I queued up for this particular... Well, I actually queued up for random. It looks like I might be getting a tank-based reward. Something called a Cache of Treasures. Not too sure if that's built in to the fact that I'm doing a scenario, or if it's because I signed up as a tank. Yay, finally got my symbiosis out, and from a rogue I gained Faint. Reducing damage taken from area of effect attacks. Not bad. I mean, I've seen worse. It's probably good for certain bosses, but certainly not high up there on my symbiosis list. I have an add-on called Symbiosis Tooltip that I happen to come across, but didn't seem to be doing much there. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video while we clear some of this trash. Okay, it's pretty much like the vermin trash. Kill a couple of the minor variations of a creature, and one of the big ones will spawn as a boss. I'm going to go ahead and get some treants out on this one. And if you're a druid tank watching this and you take a look over here, you'll notice that my... Alright, he's immune. Cast water shell. Use the water spouts to pop it. Maybe we gotta drag him to it. Okay. Looks like we got him that time. So it looks like tanks will be in charge of dragging him over to spouts to pop the bubbles. And priest seems to be shadow. Nope, didn't get him in time on that one. Let's bring him back over here. This one should get him. Wow, didn't? Okay, let's try this one. There we go. So, as I was saying, if you look at my event horizon over here, it's a lot better than it was in the beginning of the Mists of Pandaria beta. The druid tanking, you're not going to be waiting to do abilities quite as much as it was in the beginning, where you just basically sat around and waited to hit buttons. Now, it's better. I'll say that I'm definitely going to be a druid tank when Mists of Pandaria drops. If you had asked me that 2.5 months ago, I probably would have said I'd be on my paladin, because he was winning the fun battle for tanking there, but I feel at home with my druid again. So we're gonna go ahead and see what we need to do over here. Got a map arrow, but I'm not exactly too sure for what. We're supposed to be start brewing the Kunlai kicker. You know, it would have been interesting for this part over here if they had done it like that quest out in Sholazar, where you have to throw in ingredients when they're called for. Well, actually, no, that wasn't... Was that Sholazar? Yeah, that was Sholazar with the fruits. But I think there was another one fairly similar to it. Okay, I've set up a barrage of fireworks over here. Not exactly too sure what it's supposed to do. These guys that I'm fighting now are the ones that you tend to fight fairly often in the area of Pandaland where you get to buy the new mount. I do have one of the new yak mounts, but I've been sticking with my dragon turtle pretty much. And I'm getting my ass kicked over here, so I'm going to mass entangle these guys, and I'm going to get the hell out of Dodge. And see if I can rejoin the group over here. Or I'll just stay here and get healed by this person. That was that was a nice representation of the boost that Frenzied Regen will give me glyphed. I was healing for about 4.5k a tick, and when I hit my Frenzied Regen, it went up to, see, it's 40-25. If I hit Frenzied Regen, it goes up about a K and a half. So that's pretty good. Alright, we're going to go ahead and pause it until we see something a little bit more interesting here. Alright, so we've cleared some trash packs, and now a Batari War Yeti approaches from the ancient passage. Ooh. Overlooking little monkey over here. So it kind of seems, based on what I've seen so far from this particular scenario, and from what I've seen around here on the trash, it looks like the scenario kind of gives you things that maybe your group doesn't have, because, you know, I'm sitting here with a rogue and a shadow priest, which is not exactly too far different from the previous scenario that I have up here on YouTube. Now, if I stand by these monks, I get heals. I've seen other pandas running around with the Black Temple shield, and they held aggro, and they were tanks. So I think basically you could conceivably do these scenarios with, you know, 3 DPS and everything. Essentially the instance gives you some of the more anchor related positions that a group would have, and it provides it for you. Like over here, here's a tank panda, the shield breaker guy. He's been holding aggro on these guys, so I basically think they don't want you to come in here, or don't need you to come in here with a perfect group, but they'll provide some of the key components for you. Alright, so that was 1 out of the 3 invasions. I'm going to go ahead and disenchant some loot over here. Yay, spirit dust is good. And we'll pause until the next interesting item. Alright, it looks like another War Yeti is on his way. I'm gonna go ahead and bring him back over here to the Healy Panda. Alright, so we've killed our second of 3 invasion parties over here. And I'm just going to sit here and get my ass beat in this nice little panda bubble of protection. So it seems like the Shadow Priest did the fireworks barrel over there, and it did a rather high amount of damage to these guys. I've been trying to figure out how to actually do them. Alright, so we'll take a break here until the end of the 3rd and final wave and see what we have in store. Alright, we have killed the 3rd stage. We now have to defeat some kind of warbringer guy. So for the hell of it, I'm going to drink some milk that I got. It's going to give me mastery. We lost a priest in here somewhere. I think she got butt raped by a whole pack of people. And I see something. Oh, this guy looks fun. Okay, it says that he's casting something called fire lines. Don't see anything yet. I see a patch of tar over here to my right. Now I seem to be in it. Okay, he threw his axes down and they're clickable. That tar is pretty sticky. That's really drops the movement down pretty bad when you're inside of it. And I'm gonna go ahead, drop my trees, and do a berserk mangle along with nature's vigil. My treants are tanking him in the poop over here. And he dropped his axes again. The note says to grab one. And there we go. There is Brewmoon Festival. And let's see what's in my item called Cache of Treasures. Here it is. And it's got about 30 gold and nothing else. Okay. So that was a fun little scenario. This one was called the Brewmoon Festival. It does remind me a lot of Lotro's skirmishes. And so far I've yet to actually see a dedicated healer, even though I've been a dedicated tank for them. And I didn't notice it in the first one, but this one definitely gives you some of the key roles that a group should have by having the NPCs do it. There were panda monk healers, and there were panda shield-bearing tanks that held a reasonable amount of aggro, so it's probably so that non-traditional groups can go ahead and survive. So there you go. I hope you enjoyed the video on what is going to be one of the last nights of the Olympics. Kind of a boring Olympic day today. Rhythmic gymnastics. Oh, wow. Chicks holding kickballs and throwing clubs and ribbon dancing. Yay. There's something to rally around the Olympics for. So, hope you enjoyed this scenario video, and keep watching the channel for more scenarios and heroics. Have a good one, everybody.